Welcome to watching my channel F1 News. What if Ferrari has found a way to reshape the air before it even touches the car? And that small detail buried inside the front wing is what could completely flip the order in Miami. Because we're not talking about just another upgrade, we're talking about a concept that, if it delivers, could hand Ferrari several tenths per lap without anyone truly understanding where they came from. And the most unsettling part of all is that this trick is already reportedly ready to make its debut. Ferrari's issue wasn't just about pace, it was about direction. While other teams evolved step by step, they were pushed to rethink their entire concept mid-season, particularly after realizing they were losing ground in critical areas like aerodynamic efficiency and straight-line speed against their closest rivals. It wasn't the result of one bad weekend, it ran much deeper. The car carried fundamental limitations that no simple tweak could fix. And that's where the story shifts, because rather than taking the safe route, Ferrari chose to exploit a completely unexpected window, the gap in the calendar. While other teams continued their normal rhythm, in Maranello, they identified a rare chance to push development harder and execute something far more bold. What's been revealed leaves little to interpretation. This is not a standard update. It's practically half a new car, built specifically around Miami. But here's what really matters. Within that enormous package, Ferrari hasn't focused everything on one single area. Instead, they've constructed a unified concept where every component connects. And the foundation of this entire system is the airflow, how it enters, how it travels, and most critically, how it gets controlled from the very first millimeter. Because in today's Formula One, raw power doesn't win races. Mastering aerodynamic flow from the nose to the rear of the car does. This isn't accidental. Ferrari had already tested aggressive front-end solutions during pre-season, experimenting with ways to alter flow behavior before it could influence the rest of the car. But what we're witnessing now is the fully realized version of that thinking. It's no longer purely about generating downforce, it's about conditioning the air for everything downstream. And this is exactly where the now famous hidden trick starts to make real sense. Because if you can control the air at the front wing, everything else improves naturally. The floor performs better, the side pods receive a cleaner stream, and the car can run more efficiently on straights without sacrificing cornering stability. It's a chain reaction that begins in a zone that's often overlooked, but in this case, it could be the single most critical factor. What makes this approach even more compelling is that it doesn't only chase raw performance, it also targets specific weaknesses Ferrari has already experienced in races. Moments where the car's balance shifted dramatically, where small disruptions in flow affected overall handling. We've seen before how front-wing alterations can completely transform a car's character, swinging everything from downforce levels to top speed. Ferrari understands this better than anyone, which is why they've pushed further than every other team in this space. Because this isn't just an upgrade, it's a direct attempt to control the single most important variable in modern Formula One, the air. And if they've cracked it, Miami won't be just another round. It will be the moment where everything begins to shift. Now we enter the part where things get genuinely fascinating, because understanding the concept is only the start. What matters is how it actually functions within the car, and why the gains can be this significant. Ferrari hasn't treated this front wing as an isolated component. They've made it the primary control node for the entire aerodynamic system. And the key point is this: it's not simply redirecting air, it's preparing that air before it reaches the most sensitive sections of the car. This fundamentally overturns conventional thinking. The new design introduces an incredibly precise interaction between flap geometry, end plates, and small details like gurney flaps, which look minor but are deliberately positioned to alter the boundary layer of the airflow. What does that mean in practice? Ferrari isn't just guiding the flow, they're manipulating its physical properties, so it arrives at the floor more stable, cleaner, and carrying more energy. And this is where the real hidden trick surfaces, a system of hydraulically controlled moving flaps. This system doesn't function as a simple downforce adjustment, but as a dynamic flow modulator. Depending on the scenario, straight, high-speed corner, or braking zone, the wing can subtly shift how air wraps around the car. It's not a dramatic change that's easy to spot. It's gradual, almost invisible, but consistent. This enables Ferrari to achieve something most teams struggle to, simultaneously solving two things that normally cancel each other out: reducing drag for straight-line speed while preserving aerodynamic stability through corners. That perfect balance everyone chases, but almost nobody reaches without making sacrifices. Now, the most powerful aspect of this concept isn't the wing itself, it's the downstream impact on every other part of the car. When air reaches the floor in a more organized state, the ground effect becomes more efficient. That translates to more downforce without adding drag. And when the side pods receive a cleaner flow, thermal performance also improves, enabling more aggressive cooling configurations without compromising reliability. It's literally a cascading effect, and this is Ferrari's real weapon. Because if this system functions as designed, they won't just gain in one isolated area, they'll lift overall car performance across every sector. Faster down the straights, more planted through corners, better tire management, all connected through one piece.
But there's also a major risk. This level of complexity depends entirely on how well simulation matches reality. If the flow doesn't behave on track the way it does in the wind tunnel, the entire system loses its effectiveness, or worse, creates balance inconsistencies. And in Formula One, when balance breaks down, lap time collapses. Ferrari is playing an all-or-nothing card, because if they nail it, this front wing isn't just an upgrade, it's the turning point of the season. But if it misfires, they will have burned resources, time, and development tokens chasing a direction that won't pay off quickly. And that's precisely what makes Miami more than a race. It's a large-scale live test that could redefine who truly leads this field. And this is where everything comes together, because we're no longer discussing theory, simulations, or internal projections. We're talking about the moment this hidden trick faces the only judge that matters in Formula One, the asphalt. Miami is no ordinary venue. It's a layout that exposes every aerodynamic weakness, where top speed is critical, but technical stability in specific corners is equally non-negotiable. It is essentially the perfect stage to reveal whether this Ferrari concept is a stroke of genius or a calculated gamble gone wrong. Because if everything performs as intended, the impact will be immediate, not gradual or subtle. It'll show up on every straight where Ferrari gains ground without effort, in every corner where the car looks planted, precise, and easier to push to the absolute edge. That's where the drivers will be able to make the real difference. But the bigger picture isn't just single lap performance, it's what this triggers across the rest of the grid. Because if Ferrari validates this concept, every other team will be forced to react. And here's the real game changer. This isn't something you replicate in a week. This kind of solution requires rethinking the entire car's philosophy from scratch. It takes time, resources, and most critically, understanding exactly what Ferrari is doing with the air. And while rivals try to decode it, Ferrari could build a decisive window of advantage. But there's also the alternative scenario, the one most people avoid discussing, but which is equally plausible. If the correlation breaks down, if this system behaves differently on circuit than it does in the tunnel, Ferrari could find themselves with an unpredictable car, one that shifts its balance lap to lap, that doesn't respond consistently, and forces the drivers to permanently adapt. And on a race weekend, that's fatal, because we've witnessed how small aerodynamic adjustments can completely transform a car's character, generating unintended consequences that affect everything from downforce to straight-line speed. Ferrari is walking a razor's edge between writing history or derailing the season. Miami won't simply be a race, it will be the definitive verdict. The moment that tells us whether this hidden trick is truly the masterstroke that reshapes everything, or just another high-risk swing in an increasingly extreme technical arms race. And when the checkered flag drops, we won't just have a winner. Ultimately, it all comes back to one single idea. Ferrari isn't trying to improve, they're trying to leap ahead of the future. This hidden trick on the front wing isn't just another piece within a larger package. It's the beginning of a philosophical shift, controlling air from the very first point, shaping it before it influences the rest of the car, and converting that advantage into real lap time. That's the bet. And it's a total commitment, because if it works, we won't just see a more competitive Ferrari, we'll see a team that has unlocked a direction no one else yet understands, a lead that's measured not only in tense, but in concept, in the fundamental philosophy of how a modern Formula One car gets designed. But if it fails, the damage will run just as deep, because we're not talking about one isolated update, we're talking about the foundation on which all future development now sits. And when that foundation doesn't respond, everything above it cracks. That's why Miami isn't just another slot on the calendar. It's the moment Ferrari reveals whether it has genuinely discovered something that can change everything, or whether this secret stays a promise. The line between climbing back to the summit or continuing to chase it. And now the real question is, are we about to witness the birth of a new benchmark in Formula One, or the ceiling of an idea that stretched too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching my channel, F1 News.